straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here.
Hi, welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. There's a lot of different emotions that we are presenting to you today. There's anger, sadness, oscillating to extreme joy and redemption. We speak about a possible growing rift in the team. The one in question is the Pakistan men's cricket team, and the men at the heart of this divide are the current captain and the former captain, Shaheen Shah Afridi and Babar Azam. More on that in the show. Paris mayor says no to Russia and Belarus. But is this fair, and is there hypocrisy in her stance? And Atletico Madrid are the talk of the town after an amazing come-from-behind win over Inter Milan. We speak about the secret to their comebacks, but first, Sports 360. England batter Harry Brook has withdrawn from the Indian Premier League or the IPL. Reports say it's due to a death in his family. Brook, who was picked up by the Delhi Capitals in December, will skip the entire tournament. Earlier, the English player had also opted out of playing the recent 5-match test series against India. The Delhi Capitals are yet to announce a replacement for Brook. Bangladesh beat Sri Lanka by 6 wickets in Wednesday's ODI match. Sri Lanka batted first and were bowled out for 255 in the 28th over itself. Sri Lanka now trail Bangladesh 1-0 in the 3-match ODI series. Sri Lanka, remember, won the T20 series just before this 2-1. News from badminton and the All England Open. India's Sathwik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty defeated 3-time world champions from Indonesia, Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan in the All England Open. The final score was 21-18, 21-14. Lakshya Sen too registered an easy win over Magnus Johansson, 21-14, 21-14. In football, Dortmund beat PSV Eindhoven 2-0 in their second leg Champions League match. Jadon Sancho scored in just the third minute to give Dortmund an early lead. In second half-injury time, Marco Reus scored for the German club to make the score 2-0. Dortmund won 3-1 on aggregate. Tennis news: World number 4 Daniil Medvedev advanced to the Indian Wells Open. Russia's Medvedev beat Bulgarian Grigor Dimitrov 6-4, 6-4. The match lasted 75 minutes as the Russian player put out a show of top-tier shots. Medvedev will now play in the quarterfinals against Norway's Holger Rune. Now, I was hoping it would be a rather quiet week with most of the Pakistan cricketers busy with PSL, the Pakistan Super League, which is their biggest domestic league, but I was wrong. I think it's a constant state of unrest with the cricketing system that there is, and every decision carries its own consequences. There are many repercussions that are just waiting to unleash. Like the latest now, and this is sure to open up a can of worms. Babar Azam has thrown down the gauntlet in this recent episode, and that has clearly revealed a gap within the Pakistan ranks that is slowly widening. Just some days ago, we spoke about the captain, Shaheen Shah Afridi, being criticized by one of Pakistan greats, Wasim Akram, who remarked on Afridi trying to showcase his skills as an all-rounder, rather unnecessarily, instead of focusing on his bowling, his primary skill. Akram criticized Shaheen Afridi promoting himself up the order ahead of seasoned and proper all-rounders in his squad. And seems like that very same thing has come to bite Afridi and create further unrest in the Pakistan dressing room. The former captain now, Babar Azam, who was unceremoniously removed from the captaincy's slot position, has now come out stating that he was not happy with some of the decisions taken by the team director back then, Mohammad Hafiz, and the captain Shaheen Shah Afridi during the series against New Zealand just some months ago.
If I was asked individually, I wasn't satisfied with the decision to bat at one-down position. However, it was the Pakistan team's demand at the time. I did that for Pakistan.
Babar Azam is referring to being told to bat lower down the order, one drop at number 3 instead of opening the innings for his side, like he is used to doing in the T20 format at least. With Mohammad Rizwan, his opening partner. Now, before I show you the difference that has made, let's listen to what Mohammad Rizwan had to say about this very matter.
You can say that it has hurt Pakistan. I can say that Babar has a big heart. We both agreed that there is no issue. we both told the management that they can try whatever combination they want.
Rizwan had reportedly made this comment during the series against New Zealand, and even though he says the two had discussed and thought it was breaking their partnership, they were okay with this. But what Babar has come out saying is far from that. But has this move really affected Babar's performances? Let's look at the recent series against New Zealand, where he batted at number 3. Of course, Pakistan lost the series 4-1. Babar Azam was the highest run getter, though, for Pakistan. He scored 350s. So even though they lost, he performed batting at number 3. So that makes me look at what he does as an opener. So just to keep it fair, I looked at the series preceding this. It was a T20 series against New Zealand again. The year was 2023, and these were his numbers as an opener. It showed he scored 100, of course an unbeaten one, but that was the only milestone figure or a big score that he managed to notch up in that series. And though he was the second highest run getter there, you got to admit he did better batting at number 3. But maybe he just prefers opening the attack. He considers himself the best batter Pakistan is currently fielding. And as they say, the best always come up first. They open a side. So he feels he should open the innings. But this statement has also once more thrown aspersions to all the rumours and reports that were on and about prior to the World Cup last year in India, that things were not all well between Shaheen Shah Afridi and Babar Azam, that they had had a major showdown in the dressing room during the shambolic Asia Cup campaign, the one where they lost out and didn't even make it to the final. That words were exchanged in a very heated argument over the loss. And even though Babar Azam spoke about this matter months later, saying there is always respect and it was just a regular meeting, the issue clearly doesn't seem to have abated. At least that's what it seems at this point, and maybe it's just that now. He expects his position as a senior batter in the side to be acknowledged and respected. But maybe there are better ways to communicate that than voicing it in public. Now, there is something about Madrid and European football. It's like the city breeds for European success. I'm not talking about Real Madrid, who have 14 Champions League titles. Their city rivals Atletico Madrid instead. But I won't blame you if you think of Real whenever the name Madrid crops up in football conversations. But we tend to forget that there is another Spanish force in Madrid. The club may not have won the Champions League, but have been finalists in the tournament on 3 occasions in the past. And yes, they have 3 Europa League titles too. Not as prestigious as the Champions League, but still, they have European success and 11 La Liga titles in the Spanish league. The same league that has been dominated by Barcelona and Real Madrid. So yes, safe to say that the club holds a decent stature both in Spain and European competitions. They have been a regular feature in the Champions League knockout stages too, so they are no pushovers by any stretch of imagination. When they qualify for Champions League, they give it their best. And yesterday's game against Inter Milan was the perfect example of this. Atletico Madrid stunned Inter Milan, beating the 3-time Champions League winners to qualify for the quarterfinals. And what is it this year about penalty shootouts? The season has already seen 2. And as I spoke about their resilience earlier, the same was seen from the start of this game. Atletico lost the first leg, if you remember, 1-0. So heading into the second leg, they had a daunting task ahead of them. And the job at hand got even more difficult as the game progressed when they conceded an early goal. Federico Di Marco scored the goal in the 33rd minute of the first half. And you don't need me to remind you that when you are down a 2-0 deficit on aggregate, you need something spectacular to come back and seal the win. And it came in the World Cup through the World Cup winner with his never-dying attitude. Antoine Griezmann scored in the 35th minute to bring Atletico level. But Atletico was still trailing 1-2 on aggregate. Now, there is one thing about Italian clubs. They focus on defense when the game is in their grasp. Inter Milan did exactly that. Inter's 53% ball possession, proof of what I'm saying. They weren't letting Atletico pick up their gear and push hard. And that's when came an inspirational talk from Atletico's manager, Diego Simeone, at halftime. Simeone, who has been on the receiving end of such situations in the past. The Argentine is known for his rousing speeches. I still remember reading what he once said in the dressing room during a tight game. He said there are thousands of people out there to see how you give everything, how you die for Atletico Madrid shirt. Don't care about the outcome. Just go and defend that shirt you wear because it represents those people. Now, I'm certain he would have said something just as stirring or even better because Atletico came out with a vengeance. It took Memphis Depay's 87th minute goal to bring Atletico on a 2-all aggregate. They had a total of 25 attempted shots, 9 on target. That is some hungry display. And more importantly, the 2 shots that took them to a penalty shootout. And once the game was in penalty shootout, it was over to the goalkeepers. And it was Atletico's Jan Oblak who nailed the game. Inter missed thrice to lose 3-2 in the penalty shootouts.
In the end, it's about luck in the shootout. If the player takes the kick perfectly, it's impossible to stop it. Gladly, I was able to make the saves. What matters is the victory and that we made it to the quarterfinals.
A lot of modesty there, but what a stunning win. Apparently, Simeone did not even watch the shootout win out of nervousness. He reported to have said that he can't watch, and that's not good for him to watch because it has always been hard for them with penalties. Nevertheless, it's the brand of football Atletico plays that makes it even more fascinating. If they are put under pressure, they don't cave in. But they somehow managed to put the opposition back under pressure, and it has been under Simeone's regime that they have flourished and been able to be this force. They might be 4th in the La Liga points table, but the side clearly cannot be counted out no matter what tournament they play. They can come back from any situation they have been put in, and it was the same in Champions League too. I'll remind you that the Inter versus Atletico game was also a reunion of sorts, not for the players but for the managers. Inter manager Simone Inzaghi and Diego Simeone were teammates while playing at Lazio, and together as players they earned decent success in Italy. No wonder then Inzaghi was all praises for his former teammate.
It was clear he would become a great coach on top of that. You only need to look at what he's done with Atletico since 2011. Coaching for 13 years at the same club and winning 11 or 12 trophies. So he's won so much as a coach. Beyond the clear stamp he leaves on the team, I've seen Atletico playing this year, and it's a real pleasure watching them play because they play good football.
So Atletico Madrid keep their Champions League dream alive, and if they keep performing this way, they can do the unthinkable this year. And the best part, they truly believe they can. Rio Ferdinand, former footballer, puts this across rather aptly.
What I love about him is that he creates that culture, a never-say-die environment. The passion, everyone can see it. Everyone shows passion in different ways, but you will not miss that he's a passionate man. Whether you like his playing style or not, he has a group of players that absolutely follow him through thick and thin. They will follow him through brick walls.
That's something. They will follow him through brick walls. No other phrase sits so well and so apt here. And there are many walls waiting for Atletico. Arsenal, Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund. And it needs no reminder, Pep Guardiola will be aiming to defend this title. And the Spanish giants, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Let no strings go loose when it comes to Champions League. Bayern Munich and the German brand of Dortmund are serious competitors too. They seem to have turned things around as well, have Bayern. And Atletico will have to go past the spirited Arsenal and PSG, who too are aiming for their first title. So it won't be easy for Simeone's Atletico, but if they keep this current brand of play on, it would be hard to stop them because they are the comeback masters. And like the manager Simeone promises, whoever they play and wherever they play next, they will be a different opponent. The Paris Olympics is already mired in many controversies, from environmental across to political, and it continues to draw more attention as we get closer to D-Day. This time with the mayor of Paris stepping in to stoke the fire. Before that, a bit of a backgrounder. With the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, questions were raised whether Russian and Belarusian athletes should be allowed to participate in the games, to which the governing body allowed the athletes, with of course the condition of doing so under the neutral flag. Not the national flags, but the International Paralympic Committee has disbarred those Russian and Belarusian athletes from joining the Paralympic opening ceremony. And a decision is yet to be taken on the participation in the Olympics opening ceremony. So the situation is already tense. And amid all this, Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo has come out with a strong statement. Anna wants Russian athletes banned not just from the opening ceremony, but from the Olympic Games as well. How does this play out, and is there hypocrisy in her stance?
The Olympics is the biggest sporting event in the world. Qualifying and participating in even one of these is a badge of honor that every athlete yearns for. To wave their country's flag on the biggest platform is a dream every athlete works towards achieving. So the magnitude and the importance of the Olympics can never be put into words. And thus, when that sole right is taken away from you, what will happen? Russian and Belarusian athletes are being threatened of this very scenario. Everyone was aware that the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine would impact the 2024 Olympics. Belarus, which is supporting Russia in the war, has faced the brunt of it. Tournaments have been halted, moved. Athletes from different disciplines are facing the backlash of this. Athletes from Russia and Belarus will be allowed to participate in the Olympics, but under a neutral flag. That decision was reached after months of debate. The International Olympic Committee, which decides on such matters, is yet to discuss the question of the participation of Russian and Belarusian athletes in the opening ceremony. And amid all of this, the mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo, has made her feelings clear regarding the subject, to an extent that she doesn't want the Russian athletes to come to Paris and participate in the Olympics at all.
Personnellement, et c'est pas de mon ressort la décision.
Personally, and the decision is not within my remit. I would prefer them not to come. I think Putin is a dictator who threatens Europe as a whole and is waging war against Ukraine, denying them their right to exist as a people and as a nation.
De peuple, et peut-être qu'ils n'y sont pour rien, mais enfin symboliquement, ils seront quand même.
It will be very, very difficult to see even under the neutral flag. Maybe they have nothing to do with it, but symbolically they are hostages of Putin's policy. So the decision of the Paralympic movement seemed to me to be a very just decision. Now it's up to the International Olympic Committee to make their decision.
Ça me paraît vraiment une très très juste décision.
Although the mayor isn't in the capacity to make such a decision, this is a serious statement. There's no undo or delete option here. She in fact even went on to laud the decision taken by the Paralympics Committee on the subject. The Paralympic Committee has gone a step ahead and announced that the athletes from Russia and Belarus won't even take part in the opening ceremony of the event. It's believed that the International Olympic Committee will meet to decide on the same in their next session. But here's the larger issue. There isn't just one war being waged. Israel is at war against Hamas, and that has impacted the life of people in Gaza. When asked about Israeli athletes and their participation in the Olympics, Mayor Anna had a different view.
Il est pour moi hors de question de sanctionner Israël par rapport aux...
Sanctioning Israel in relation to the Olympic and Paralympic Games is out of the question for me. Yes, all the diplomatic work that's happening right now to push Netanyahu towards a ceasefire, to stop targeting the civilians of Gaza, should be done. But he should not be considered as another Putin, who is a dictator in his country.
Oui, mais que il soit considéré comme...
Smells like double standards here, doesn't it? It's clear that the two wars have had a global impact, and sports is not far away from this. While Olympics authorities have been respectful of the sentiments and hard work put in by the athletes, they're also in a bit of a bind where they need to make a statement and take a stand. And it's ironic that they are in this situation. Sports has always looked to be a unifier and not a divisive tool. But the wars have struck discord in the original motto of the Olympics, to bring all countries under one roof. And this statement by a top Paris official could lead to some disastrous consequences.
We're down to last serve, and it's an emotional story we bring you today. Since the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan, many sporting disciplines have taken a hit, snuffed out. Some skiers, though, are fighting and continue to live their dream through their passion for the sport. Take a look. That wraps up here on Firstpost for us. Thanks for joining in again, and I'll see you with some fresh stories as always tomorrow from the world of sports. Take care.